Welcome. We are the Climate Change Task Force meeting on April 26th. Present are Michael Owen, Karen Knight, and Michelle Correll, and Sandy Wilmot. There's no public here, so we'll move on to the first item on the agenda, which is looking at the climate action plan and trying to finalize it so that we can go ahead and start doing outreach. I see. So have people had a chance to review this since Michael has put the latest?
I'm very sorry to admit I have not.
It's okay.
I looked at it today. Seems like we were very close the last time we met. And
I know there were some changes to tables and things like that, and I thought mostly that was helpful, but there were one or two places where I thought they could use some titles or
Yeah,
like
I can explain some of that.
it doesn't bother me. I was recently exposed to someone who's positive, but I've been testing negative, but I'm just worrying this out of an abundance of caution for you all. So up to you if you want to wear it.
Well, how many days was it?
I tested negative for 2 days, but I was exposed to the person like 3 days ago.
And
I also was on an airplane and I was wearing like N95 mask the whole time. So no worries.
So on this screen, since I have it big, I can't see what's in the side. So if you have some comments, let me know. I'll kind of go page by page, and if people have something they want to say, then we can do that. This is the general climate page, which we didn't seem to have too much, except we wanted it more specific. I think we agreed to keep these all the same.
I think they're okay.
Yeah. And the same with this section where there's nice impact. So this is the part that is new, and I took information from the hazard mitigation plan to create this. I'll let you read that sentence, the paragraph, and then let me know if there's corrections you'd like.
I thought it was good. I did read it. I did note that the tables could use like a title for the table and saying like, stuff like that. Brief, like a footnote that says the source.
Okay. I think throughout references is something that will need to get checked and make sure they're all there.
Yep.
So this one is the number of federal disaster emergency declarations since 1999. Is that the title we're going to say for this one?
Yes.
Well,
Federal
1990, right?
1990.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And does that come from our plan or our mitigation plan?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, just maybe a footnote or something. And the other one I wasn't sure. I assumed that was for Underhill, but I didn't know what period it covered. I didn't know if it was the same period or
Yeah, they're both
different period or what. So I thought that would be helpful to know what had happened there. I wasn't sure what the strong wind and high wind was. But I don't know that it matters a whole lot, but
Yeah.
was taken by that.
Actually, you don't need states there. All you need is 1990 through 2021.
It is funny to see the pandemic there. At first I was like, oh, look at how many there have been in the last, 4 years ago. Two of those aren't climate related.
2 years worth of climate emergency.
Any revisions to the language there that people want to make?
That's good.
No, the only thing I would do, I don't want to be picky, is actually put that title. You can, if you, is this,
Centered or something?
no, I'm trying to think with, this is Word. Are you in Word? Okay, so you have to make another box above. You could fit the title in there, but just don't do it right this second. We could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I usually do it, but then I don't include the border on that for the title. But you can.
You can.
Yeah, I often don't though, just the title is in its own row with joint boxes.
But some of our tables underneath are like left, on the left, so I think just we can be consistent and we don't have to necessarily center it. We can sort of just.
Yeah, so I should say this is going to Anne, and she's going to format it.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
That's
I mean, she's, yeah, and this is in Word, which is ugly to work with, and I think she has some other programs.
Yeah, that's great.
For that exact reason, I've stayed with WordPerfect and just converted when I need to.
Wow.
WordPerfect works so well.
Yeah.
It is, but it really works well for all
What
of
is
this
that,
stuff.
like 1995?
Oh, I mean, it's a brand new version. It's like, 2022 version or something like that. But they're still around. It's a Canadian company for L now.
So what is what's the second table?
So the second table, I'm sorry, it goes on 2 pages. Here, how about if I just do this? Oops.
I see it on one at the window when I look at it, so Lillian, figure it out.
So it's the natural hazards and how often they've happened, if there's deaths or injuries, property damage. So it's related to the one above.
It's the same time frame. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't realize you actually have something there. It's in white instead of, you actually have, those. I didn't see those now.
I don't know why it do it in black.
Yeah.
Well, we can fix that, but that's what it is. And then here are all of the different natural hazards. And it's what's in the hazard mitigation plan. I don't know how they, what's the difference between some of these?
High wind and a strong wind.
Yeah.
Do we know what counts as an incident? How does something get counted as an incident?
I don't know that either.
Is this the town's plan?
Yeah.
And so who is that? Is that?
So Brad is the main person that puts this together, along with the county regional planning commission. So I don't know if they provide some of the numbers or if it's things that he's compiled.
And if they know that, it would help to have something at bottom saying what an incident means. Like, how does it get?
Okay.
How does it meet the criteria?
Okay.
Just because, like, we've had a lot of heavy snow in all those years, but only 5 times it was an incident, for example.
Right. Strong wind happens in my house about every other day. In Pleasant Valley.
Okay.
Unless it's high wind.
All right. And then here's the text for the next part, and I'll put that on the page so it's a little easier to see. And the hazard ranking, just so you know, is there's a number of people in the town that all filled out some sheets that the Regional Planning Commission put together that then created this ranking. So it's what's in the hazard mitigation plan is all I can say.
But would a high hazard ranking be one very likely to occur, or with greater damage, or
I think both of those things go into it.
Frequency of less cost.
Yeah.
some kind of blended?
So I could explain that, but the main point here is that all of these things are affecting Underhill and likely to continue into the future.
Right.
So I don't know what you think about actually including the current hazard ranking, or should we just say these are all the hazards?
It's there. I don't know why fluvial erosion, interestingly enough, is ranked medium, but it could be the thing that really wipes out half of the town under the wrong circumstances. So I don't know
How they figured that out.
how they figured that out, but and it has caused major problems, wiping out major culverts and taking up big sections of roadway and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't think these rankings are particularly valid, like invasive species can be a huge issue. So I don't know. I mean, I like the table. Like it says, oh, these are the things we really have to pay attention to. But if it's not totally valid, I think we may not do
And leave
that.
it out.
Yeah.
All that stuff is already listed above,
Right.
and then that basically in that previous table.
Okay.
We don't have. Are invasive species on this? I wish I printed that.
True enough, I don't think so.
It's
Yeah,
there, but it's not in this one, because these
This
are,
one is tied to it.
I think
Yeah.
so,
So it'd be nice to know, what maybe the hazards are, but I wouldn't put the ranking, because then, but then again, why do you have it?
I think we can just edit that paragraph above it, and if we don't, we can simply say the weather events considered to be highest hazard for Underhill include, and then list all of these, and don't differentiate high, medium, or low.
okay. That are currently ranked as hazards.
Well, they can be ranked as high hazards.
These are all high hazard. Well, it's funny because these are not all weather events. Human infectious disease and invasive species are not weather events.
Right. Everything else is some weather related.
So natural, these are, well, even wildfires isn't necessarily a natural thing. Hazard events is what this is.
Just hazards. Hazards is fine.
No. We can just say like high hazards for Underhill include and just list them.
Yeah. We could leave it in the table if you want, but, so I don't know if people are gonna read the list, or are they gonna look? Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I think, putting it there is fine. I think seeing red, yellow, and green actually has some value. Gives people a sense that something is important is being reported here. I mean, we've been through so many color terrorist alerts and everything else that gives people the sense that this is something of relevance to them.
And I do know that having tables sometimes is the only part that people read.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be good.
Looking at the pictures.
Yeah, you read the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it now. How'd you get the words to turn green?
The green is means it's edited.
Comment shows up purple on mine.
Okay. Moving on. So now we have what is an action plan. There's no changes here. The community profile has been moved up instead of being down below. And I think that's the only change there. I will go back and figure out all the table and chart numbers and add those on.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Vehicle use, this is all the same.
That's interesting. We do talk about in the profile age things, and I mean in the vulnerable households we talk about age things, and we only speak to median age in the table. I don't know if that really matters all that much, but for example, we say over 60, and then we don't ever say anything about that.
And how many? Yeah. Okay.
You know, the income one we do include in this graphic at least, showing how that affects the housing distribution, and I think that's worthwhile having. But we don't include any information about the age, except for the median age, which doesn't tell me
It'd
very
be
much.
interesting to have the age distribution in some categories, like
Especially because we have a lot of older people. I mean, we're skewed that way. So, all right,
Being one myself, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I just thought, you know, especially if we mentioned it, you know, verbally in the paragraph below, that these constitute our vulnerable populations, but I think nowhere do we say how many of them there are.
Yeah. I'll dig that up. Okay, vehicle use. We haven't changed that.
That's fine.
Home heating. Well, you know, whether the greenhouse gas emissions, it's an old thing, it's 2010. And it's something that the Regional Planning Commission has done, and they're reworking it. I don't think we'll have it for this
I haven't
plan.
reworked it yet, yeah, and just, I mean, it gives the basic premise is not gonna be very different. It'll look a lot like that when they rework it.
Probably.
So, I guess I'm not too worried about it. It would be nicer to have, you know.
so they're saying that what's showing in that figure is from 2010.
Right.
So again, for people who just read the figures, it helps to put the year, if it's possible, on the figure.
Yeah.
In the title, maybe 2010.
Let's see. Doesn't.
Well, you know what you could do is make a little insert comment, I think, in Word, that's a graph in Word. So you might be
It
able
might be like an inserted picture, which
Yeah.
you can't edit.
okay.
But Anne might be able to help.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I just read it.
Well, it's changed though, so unless Ann changed it.
No, I could.
You could just put like 2010 data or something like that.
Yeah.
If you say 2010, it sounds like that's what we're telling people they ought to pay attention to, but if you say 2010 data, then it kind of says we got it from them.
Yeah.
But
Maybe even insert a little box on the bottom that says 2010 data or something.
yeah, something like that. It doesn't have to be in this one. Yeah, I agree. It's nice to have it there.
I won't try to do that. Let's see. You added this, Michael?
I added that, yes, you didn't say you accepted it. Feel free to.
Is this electric vehicles, the stuff in purple?
Yeah.
All right. And you don't mind if I look at it up here, my head's not in your way.
No, no.
Just wanted to make it clear that electric vehicles not only value because they are electric instead of gas, but they also use a lot less energy, period, to do what they need to do. They're much more efficient in doing it with the energy that they use. I thought that was a helpful bit of info.
Yeah. You good with that, everyone? Karen, if you'd like, you can follow it on the screen here. It's easier than looking up there.
Okay. Thank you. Good idea. Right there.
So I reworked this. It's from the town plan. Same information, but just in a different chart. Here's another edition. Yes, we want to be able to track our progress. I like the information. It does seem like it's in your words, which are different than most of the document. But I'm fine leaving it as it is. What would people like to do?
I might say just strike ultimately. I mean, it's just, it's a little, it's just a little, excuse me, I don't mean to be, but it seems a little arrogant or, like talking about ultimately. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I have very thick skin, so if you want to change anything or anything like that, please feel free. Even with sitting right here, it'll be just fine.
I guess I'm wondering, I think it's an important point, where it belongs, because it's in the section on electric vehicles, but it's relevant to both
Heating
vehicles and vehicle consumption. So I don't know if that belongs as like a general statement after those sections or before.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure, but I mean, we kind of got a few things that work a little bit like that, and have more than one.
Oh, how about just putting it below the table, below the targets for home weatherization and heating? Then it applies to both of those.
That's just fine.
Because then we go to the next. Yeah, that would be perfect, in my opinion.
I'm fine with that myself. I do think it's important that you say something about tracking it. My comment just went away.
No, it's there.
No, it went away. It did the comment side. I just was watching.
Yeah, because that's
Yes. Fine.
okay. Equity is the same. Our transportation. Is this still relevant? Oops, I don't know what I did.
Oh, quite a few suggestions? No, that was way back at the beginning.
Okay.
Right.
There was a use of one though that I did think was just a verbal edit that you just took out.
I accepted it, so hopefully it's there.
It was use of something use.
Okay.
So it's kind of redundant there, but yeah, no, that was way back when. I've since expressed everything I wanted to express.
So on this one, this River Road bike lane, even though Anne has a comment that the select board voted against constructing it, people still want it. So I would like to keep it in here if you guys are agreeing on that.
I definitely think it should be in there.
Okay.
I agree.
So we'll keep it in there. All right, let's see. Maintain, expand, non-SOV. What does that stand for?
Single occupancy vehicles.
What does that mean? Provide buses?
It can mean provide buses, it can mean provide bike access, more support for bikes, more walking, anything that is other than, it can even mean carpooling with
Right.
multiple people.
But this one says non-single, so it can't be bike.
Was it a bicycle for two?
Well, yeah.
Just kidding.
SOVs are powered vehicles, like wouldn't be considered an SOV and then the normal. It's just kind of a term of art, if you will. It's
Maybe we could just say expand
Yeah, I'd like to.
public transit and peer-to-peer rideshare, and we don't need to say non-SOV.
Yeah.
right. The only thing that also does pedestrian stuff, but then bike and ped stuff.
Because we have the like walking above, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we remember that we want this for like a general audience.
So what did you say, Sean?
Just they expand public transit and peer-to-peer rideshare opportunities.
Okay.
That would do it. That would do it.
All right, great. Pursue smart growth land use principles to support village center development and support pedestrian and accessibility.
Do we need to repeat the term support for, or just to support village center development and pedestrian and transit accessibility?
That would be fine from my point of view.
Sound okay?
Yeah.
And you're agreeable that we ought to do it, presumably.
I agree with the smart growth principles. Sorry, yeah.
Didn't we have that somewhere else in here?
Yeah, I think it's further down.
Yeah, but in terms of
Land
climate
use.
migration,
Oh.
land use, yeah. Land use part of the climate migration stuff, I think. But this specifically is with reference to transportation
Yeah.
improvements as well. It provides transportation benefits.
Okay.
Resident, a weatherized resident, a resident, it just seems like it's being picky.
We are whether the residents. How about home?
And I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Hi, Kitty.
You have a comment here though about needing the standards.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to let that go because we aren't gonna get one. I think we ought to have, because my problem is if they say X number of homes need to be weatherized. But we
Yeah.
have no idea of how many homes in Underhill are currently operating at what level of whether, heating efficiency. For all we know, it could be 80% of them already. Yeah. Certainly newer homes are often built, with tighter and so on and so forth. And, when I did our house, estimated BTU per square foot per year, it sort of comes out sort of below the breaking point that would need weather based on this.
That's a great point.
Actually, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I have yet to, I've been sort of trying to come up with a weatherization calculator that we could put on the web or something like that, so people
No,
can.
Kitty, get away.
But I mean, all you need to do
I'm
is.
allergic to you.
Oh, no, oh my gosh, I had to get him over here. Nope, come on over here. Stay away. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, people should know that, and we should have a standard at some point, but I don't think we're gonna get it here, so just let it go.
Can be similar recommendations lower down.
Yeah, somewhere, I I've yelled and screamed about it for years now. Nobody pays any attention.
I did. I paid attention.
Okay, okay. I don't know what to do about it.
I know.
How about this one? Minimize rather than reduce fossil fuel use. Yeah, I like that.
Personally, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like minimize. I'm working on the minimize part myself.
When we say weatherized buildings, we say weatherized buildings, basically those buildings that need to be weatherized, like weatherized buildings as needed, or
Hmm.
The way that the state is treating it is like everybody needs to be weatherized. And I think to a degree that's true. Everybody can benefit by upgrading their weatherization, but some people need everything from, roof insulation and wall insulation and, air sealing all around, et cetera. And some people could use just a little, maybe air sealing and a couple of, very minor things. And it makes it,
like we had to replace the roof of our house shortly after we bought it, and it's like this, fully spray foam insulation where it's like so thick.
yeah.
It doesn't, windows can't use some help, but in any case, it's like every situation is different.
Well, according to Dwight, windows are the last thing you need to fix. So.
According to you?
Dwight Foster, he is on our energy committee, and he is the head of the Valley program.
And windows?
Windows are way down.
Really?
Interesting, good. And we won't rush to release.
Oh,
And they're
I
also the
know.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
they
I
are.
replaced ours. I mean, we replaced ours because you could feel the wind going through the others.
Yeah, well, there's a certain amount of. Yeah, obviously when the wind comes with the walls, you need to think about it. There are different levels, but they tend to be the last thing on the list.
Should we put fully weatherized buildings? Do you like that better?
Or we can leave it alone.
I don't know, I think that
Leave it as
I was trying to be responsive to
Yeah.
Michael's important observation.
Expand and promote.
Is this an old one also? Oh, yeah, February.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can go away. Been there a long
Expand,
time.
promote the program to provide free. I like one word. What would you like to put there?
Well, I like.
Or maybe
How
it's
about
and.
that? Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Because we have one. And I just got an email today from John about putting a front porch forum thing in to start advertising it to people.
Okay. Get rid of especially the air conditioner.
Yeah, I don't think that we should be emphasizing that that's why they get it. I mean, if you want to put something in, kind of also serve as air conditioning or something like that. But the benefit from a climate point of view is that the air conditioning. In fact, in some ways, that makes matters worse because people who don't have air conditioners now do and use them as an air conditioner.
Oh. So they're using more energy.
That's why I got the heat pump.
Well, yeah, I hear you, but from a
I don't use it much for it, but, you know.
yes, I'm sure my wife would be happy if we did the same thing. Probably will pretty soon. I can find somebody to do it, which is always our challenge.
To do a heat pump?
Yeah. Finding people to do the work now is very hard.
Why don't you just energy co-op of Vermont or whatever?
Well, we aren't part of them.
No, well, you pay $12 to be part of them.
Oh,
What?
I do?
Well, no, I do.
You do? Oh,
I mean, that's how much to be a member of that co-op.
oh, I see.
Vermont Energy Co-op? Yeah, co-op, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then they'll come out and they give pretty good deals.
Yeah, okay. Well, that
If
sounds
they
great.
know what they're doing.
Well, at this point, I take it even half baked, I think.
So you wanted to nix the actual amount, which is fine with me.
What's that?
We're on the wind.
Oh, okay, downwind. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of limiting it to a single turbine and the specific power rating. I thought was not helpful.
What bothers me is that in the town plan, we have, you know, residential, does small scale mean 2 mountaintops instead of 12?
Well,
Or,
didn't they say not industrial or something like that? And we already have 1,500 feet. The mountaintops is not. We got the 1,500-foot limitation here.
yeah, and you already said that. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
good
so
with it.
I thought that what I think that Underhill may evolve with, and also with the technology is going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that, because, yeah.
And when we say, specifically single turbine of a specific rating, I think that kind of runs the risk of boxing out some solutions that we'll be happy with.
Okay.
Becoming obsolete.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was my concern about that.
I don't think you need those that comma there.
Right,
I hope my neighbors don't leave that. I don't want to listen to their wind turbines. Sorry.
Listen to their what?
Wind turbines.
Yeah, well, most of anything that a neighbor would put in would be pretty small and silent, I think, at this point.
I'm thinking of the one over on what's the road. It's a shortcut to 108 from Pleasant Valley. What's the name of that road?
Irish?
No.
108.
108.
Oh, yeah.
There's that one way up there. Like a bird.
Yeah, I have it over there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I almost bought a house there once.
Okay,
So Michael, the comment is going to stay in until Anne gets to it, and this has to do with these tables not
Right.
being quite right. So
Yeah, I just
we'll
don't. It bugs me. I think most people wouldn't even notice.
yeah, it may just be a
The
mistake.
way they're calculating something or something like that. But when I look at it, I say there's 8 times as much land and it produces less power. So I don't know.
Let's see. Again, this might be old. But could use better understanding of the relationship of this to population wise. Yeah.
how's that? What is that going to mean to people that would read the town plan though?
What does this all mean?
Well, the generate between 4,946 and 8,569 megawatts per hour.
There is an explanation that they use, and I don't know. It continues to be somewhat lost on me. I do wonder. Well, they have it in there. It does affect our. And we have it in the energy plan too, because it came out of there.
Oh, when it says Underhill renewable energy generation was 2000, whatever, blank. In 2022, are they referring to the gravel pit solar farm?
And private.
And private.
Yeah.
Really? And private? I think it was more than that. So many people seem to have.
Well, they're all real small. Steve's is about 120, which I think he's probably got the biggest rig.
I was thinking of I was thinking of the necessary minis that people have. There's so many that have small. You know what I mean? Rather than a vital few like Steve's got.
Right.
Yeah. So I was just thinking of Beartown Road. How many people have solar? I mean, it's just I'm just saying.
Yeah.
as it's
This,
not
this,
done.
these are this is
Well,
the
this
data
is from
that
the
I have.
Public Service Department,
Yeah.
so.
And I think that the data probably comes from the RCC study, which was from 2015 also, so that might be, when it's updated now, it might be.
She sent us the update, right, for 2022.
Has she sent us that?
She did.
Actually, that seems like it's pretty good then. It's 60% of the 2025 low target for renewable.
Is already there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's actually pretty good, I think. I mean, maybe 2 more years we can get that.
Maybe, but I also wonder, is it new ones? Okay, starting in 2022, we had this much. So do we, by 2025, do we have to add to it?
This is the target. So no, we shouldn't.
Okay. That's what we're wondering.
Yeah.
Actually, me and my other neighbor, 3 neighbors near me wouldn't have even been in this count. Hi, Kitty, don't please. I'm allergic to kitties.
You are too?
How's something you survive?
I take drugs.
Yeah.
Don't have a
I've
cat.
been drinking.
No, I don't have a cat. I'm allergic to horses too. I'm
I
sorry.
know, I heard.
But that's a nice cat. I have to say it's lovely.
Oh, yeah, that's a great cat. I'm glad I'm not allergic. I can visit.
We like those stronger words like pursue rather than investigate, right?
Yeah, well, I don't consider investigating. I mean, that's our job. We're supposed to be investigating now.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be considering now. Either we like it or we don't. I never liked the idea that there are some things where it's just sufficiently out there or whatever else. You need to look into it a little bit more. But by and large, we should be doing the considering and the investigating. That's what our job is.
I did a little research on this fund, the USDA Rural Energy for America program. And what they fund are renewable energy systems for agriculture and for rural small business. And it's supposed to be, the amount is supposed to be increasing with the new Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
So is that enough information?
I think so, yeah. I think that'll be all right.
These must be things that Helen put in.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. I still do have this thing about,
Green banks?
well, I don't know how the green bank is gonna work. I confess, maybe somebody does. But the question about the future population and stuff, the climate migration and everything, it's like, at some point, somebody needs to talk about the relationship between future population and is it gonna, I think our population projections are not really based on any dramatic climate differences or anything. And also, we're dramatically electrifying everything, and I'm not sure how everything balances out here. And right now we're just sort of going with what's there. So, what it's worth.
All right, we'll keep that, and Anne can comment or not on that. Is that all right?
On the green bank?
No,
Better understanding of it.
on this, the target, just, things are gonna be changing. How does that affect our targets?
Right. I don't quite know how a green bank is gonna work, I confess. It sounds good.
It sounds good, but is that just throwing, I'm not being picky, but is it just sort of throwing terms around though?
No, that's kind of real.
Yeah.
As part of the IRA and stuff like that, they talk about this kind of thing. They call it green banking or some other kind of banking arrangement. And I don't.
There's a number of states that have them, and they set it up in different ways, but it allows people to borrow money for these projects, and then it goes back into
Right. It's sort of a revolving loan thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand banking.
No.
How that all works very well. So
All right, we added although much. All this
this in here, I might actually change just as much and leave out the if not all, because I don't think if not all really works. But I think it's important to realize, because I see this all the time in like Vermont digger letters. Somebody says, "Oh, well, we have all the forests. We don't have to worry about anything you can do. The forest takes it all up. The rainforest doesn't be used," or something like that, without realizing that the forest has been part of the baseline carbon cycle. And I don't know where exactly that accounting breaks out, but how much forest is necessary to fulfill that role as opposed to fulfill the role of getting rid of the excess that we do. But I know that Vermont had a lot of forests before we ever showed up. It was part of the natural carbon cycle that processed carbon through the system. So I think it's important not to, for people not to say, "Oh, well, forests, we don't have to think about anything."
How about if we say uptake is actually included as part of the natural carbon cycle?
Sure, whatever you think. I put baseline slash background, but I think natural would be fine, whatever you think is more expressive. I think the concept is an important one to have in here, though.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, that actually, that helps me understand, yeah, that's helpful.
Oh, and wait, okay, you're gonna keep those in that whole piece in parentheses.
Yeah. How are we doing?
Always my mask.
Oh, that's hard,
It's
isn't it?
in my mouth or my face.
Data information program and materials for residents. That sounds good to me.
That one sounds really good for me.
Where's that? This might there be. Wow, I love that. Can that be part of the implementation plan?
Which one?
Um,
Climate smart management, that?
yeah. So what do you, I guess I'm not sure. Climate smart management. Would there be a tax incentive for residents preserving is different than managing it?
There is I see it come into my something on my cell phone that talks about families, get in Vermont, if, there's a, can receive money for carbon sequestration of your property.
If you're part of
Oh, is it just, are you
current
talking about?
use, I
I
assume
haven't
so.
read it, it comes in and.
Is that just for larger, like,
Yeah, it's over 20 acres.
Yeah.
And you have to be enrolled.
Oh, so you have to be in for each to try to get that. Oh, really?
so I guess I was just wondering, I mean, there's gonna be lots more subdividing going on and lots more interest pressure to clear forests to make room for more homes, and, if people can plan in ways that protect the forest, can there be any incentive to help encourage people to do that?
Creating information materials for residents that highlight the encourages wise and climate smart management. How about incentives to keep forests forested?
Oh, and?
And I might put it as a separate, like, bullet, if people agree that, because
Okay.
providing like educational materials is a little different. I think create financial incentives, whether that's tax relief,
I like pursue is usually a good
or
thing for
pursue.
that.
You knew I was having a trouble.
It covers the person's bills.
Incentives to keep forests forested. Landowner
Yeah.
incentives.
I don't know how I get that. When it pops up, I keep meaning to read it, but I'm always in such a hurry that.
Is that enough? Just like that? Pursue landowner incentives to keep forests forested.
And I wonder about, people who have 15 acres and want to subdivide into 3. I don't know if they consider their land to be a forest. I mean, it depends on kind of the situation, but
Well, this would have to take a lot of investigation.
yeah, absolutely.
So just having this statement is a starting point, I think, unless it's ambiguous.
I think that's fine. I don't know if we want to put, for example,
To actually say to reduce subdivision or something, is that what you mean?
or to have thoughtful subdivision to, and maybe that's already required, I don't know, but to do it in a way that has, keep the 3 homes near each other and keep the forest rather than having 3 where you take down the whole,
Yes.
and to be able to keep the walking paths that are in the, forested area.
Yeah, cluster zoning.
Yeah, right, that kind of thing.
I actually, I've been a big fan of something called TDR, transferable development rights, for a long time, but nobody likes it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I
I think we do have something somewhere else about this.
something, maybe it's,
In land use, maybe?
oh, well, this is one.
This is one program.
Implement land use policies that minimizes forest clearing.
Right, that was one.
Oh, this is through the Nature Conservancy, has something called, that offers funds to landowners who manage forests for carbon.
So anyway, I think the statement you put in there is good.
Yeah, so it's called, this is it, it's the American Forest Foundation and Nature Conservancy, and they launched something called the Forest Family Carbon Program to compensate landowners in Vermont and parts of eastern New York who own 30 acres. So it has to have, it to meet the current use you have to have 30 acres.
It seems like the existing programs are for the larger landowners.
But this is for 30 acres, so that's not large, I mean, in comparison. So I can think of a lot of acres out there, more than 30 that people might consider doing that rather than subdividing for their retirement. I hate that concept.
Say that again.
It's subdividing because it's their retirement money.
Right. I mean, I understand.
I don't like that concept at all. But that's
It's reality. I think, especially if financially things get more and more challenging to happen. And so how do we?
Okay, let's move on to this one. Investigate and provide for conservation. Oh, this is the one you added, Michael.
Yes, I did.
Burial.
My wife's behest, like that, I think it's a good idea, actually.
I think that's fine.
Is that a forest carbon sequestration issue?
Well, to the extent that it deals with, there's something called a conservation variable, which makes for forest preservation. In other words, the land goes into, basically becomes a cemetery, but it's a conserved land.
I see.
Something I thought about for many years, but I guess it's beginning to gain some traction in Vermont these days.
I think I saw, I heard a program, yeah. It's fine with me. What is it okay with everyone else?
Yeah, that's fine. Research development of agricultural soils outside of the village centers and areas planned for growth.
Yes.
Agricultural,
Yeah, I think the term though isn't it prime agricultural soils? Isn't that within the? What does that mean? I don't know what that.
There's a formal definition. I don't know that, the only thing that would bother me is that if somebody had developed an actual farm that used non-prime agricultural soils, we wouldn't be using this to protect it. So, in other words, this, I thought just using agricultural as opposed to the formal prime agriculture.
I like that, yeah.
just agriculture.
Yeah, the way it is, yeah.
There is a formal definition. So Conservation Service has defined certain soils as prime agricultural soils.
I was just thinking of the land use, Underhill land use and how it reads. I thought it was prime ag soils.
It probably does, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, just up on Beartail Road, meadow, that ultimately a house was built on was prime ag soils.
We should be making efforts to prevent that.
Yeah.
Preserving those soils is going to be important in the future. But just because it wasn't prime ag, for example, if it's being used for agricultural purposes, I think it would be worthwhile to try to keep it available for that. You know, there's a lot of soil probably might not be on prime ag, but it could still support agriculture.
Yes.
So we've moved down now to prioritizing actions, and this is the new part that Michael had written. I think it looks great. You want me to go?
Oh, yeah, I can't. I guess I can't. Yeah, I can. Can I?
No.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
Let me
Can you
do
go
it.
down a little bit, please? Or a little bit of any comment. Okay. Wow, like likable. Oh, wait, can I finish something? Stop. do people think, I mean, when I read things about how the biggest changes an individual can make to reduce impact is to fly less, which I've been horrible at following lately, but is that, we have that in sort of the measures, examples of greenhouse gases. We don't have that as one of the recommendations.
Where do you think it belongs, Michael? Because it's you kind of have things prioritized a little bit, right?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's certainly one of the,
Transportation.
if there's transportation things going on there, maybe. Was that another thought? Why not?
Maybe after green transportation, just add,
Yeah.
you know,
Reduce flying.
yeah.
Is that the right way to say it?
You know, reduce air travel.
There we go.
I like that. Or even minimize their trouble.
Or, yeah.
Right.
I heard yesterday that the airlines are, there's more travel now than there was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we all travel sometimes, but I've had to travel to California several times recently for family reasons, and it is insane. I mean, I don't know if you guys are in airports, but it is insane.
Really?
Numbers of, yeah.
Good point.
I have a little bit of issue though with trade your lawn for natural landscape. Only because sometimes that encourages the invasive species. So, you know, I can see.
Well, we have native.
Right. It's just that, you know, I see knotweed spreading because no one is attacking it in certain areas. They're just letting it become part of the meadow, not perhaps realizing it'll take over the meadow.
Maybe include a caveat in there, you know, be careful of invasive species or something like that in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Was that okay?
What does that mean? I mean, you can leave it. It's just I personally, you know.
Okay.
There was just did you see the article in the New York Times this past week about not mowing as much?
Yeah.
And it was good. It was about, especially for like protecting habitat for pollinators.
Do we have that no mow May anywhere in this?
We don't have that here.
Can it be part of this?
Why not? Does it include join and
Observe, yeah.
no, put it at the end or something.
Well, no, actually, we'll fit right there because you're talking about lawn, right?
Well, here, take a break from continual gas-powered mowing. So with join no mow May.
Yeah, I like that at the end.
Yeah.
It makes sense, yeah. Participate in no mow May. I think this section is inspiring and really great. It's not in the same language or voice as the rest of the report, so I'm not sure.
I think it sounds a little bit more real, you know, for the person, the people that read this will perhaps identify more with this than the data.
Yeah, no, I do like it. I just, there may just be some minor tweaking just in terms of just punctuation and.
Oh, I'm definitely game for anybody who's got any tips.
So is Anne, what is Anne's role? You said she's going to help with like some tables.
She originally drafted this, and she had all the format and all of that. Since then, we've taken great liberties, which she said was okay, but it ultimately is a document that she is sending us with our help as a climate action plan. So it would need to go back to her because her name's on it, to format it the way
I see. I just didn't know if she was in a role, probably not, to help with line editing. But, or
I imagine she had somebody in her office that did some of that kind of thing.
yeah, I just wonder if that's the case, if someone in her office would be,
Can do
might take a stab at just helping to phrase this. I don't think it needs a lot of work, but it could use maybe a little formatting and. We've
have you had a chance to read her?
There's a number of things I just put like an ampersand instead of and in places and stuff like that.
that's kind of the stuff I was noticing.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's like phrases rather than sentences, or it's minor.
Yeah, we're trying to get concepts down,
Right.
something we can roughly,
Right.
but there's never no illusion that it should be anything, that, well, I tried to get it somewhere, right? It wasn't just a total toss off, but.
No, it's really good.
Anything else that we need to change there?
Not at that point.
I need to head out pretty soon. I know we started late, but.
Okay.
All
All right, well, to finish this, what we have not considered are some things that we had before on the strategy list. We need to see whether any of these are incorporated or whether they can be
jettisoned.
Yeah. Transportation.
Wait, can we stop for 1 second?
Yes.
These are a little bit different than the spreadsheet that Michael did.
It was Michael's. I tried to take out all of these that were
Okay.
in the action plan already, so that we just have what we need to consider.
Okay.
I think. Hopefully I've done that.
Did we ever define what IRA is?
The Inflation Reduction Act.
Okay, but did it say it somewhere once in our plan?
That I don't know.
Because there's somewhere, I don't remember that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Also, the Irish Republican Army.
All right, what's your? I'm just going ahead. So you need to leave. Well, I should just stop and say, okay, we have this page of things that we need to do.
I think we want to get rid of that reduce fossil fuel by using a centrally located area for additional sand. And I think that one would just throw people over.
Yeah, they'd go crazy.
Yeah, that would drive them crazy.
Yep.
Because it's been we talked about not having a pit where the town garage where it was and all that, and then.
Oh, I remember, I was part of those wars.
So I think that would drive them nuts.
So.
Okay, instead of doing that, let's just stop for a minute and think about our game plan.
Okay.
So originally we were gonna finish this and be able to then start doing meeting with planning commission, various groups that haven't seen this, somehow promote it in a way that will make it something they want to endorse. We're not ready yet, but we do have, we're finished draft plan, and we can send that to Anne. What we won't have in it are these items here. Chances are they aren't things that we felt were essential because they're not in there. But are we okay with going ahead without including these?
Well, I would really like to include protect and limit incursion into forests, wetlands, and wildlife habitats outside the village centers. To me, it's under prepare for climate migration.
Okay.
I just think that is, we can't say that enough. Just when I'm coming from my head, which is more.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, that also implies work to make the centers places that support growth and people being there. So those are two sides of the same coin, really.
Yeah, some of these have actually been addressed, but not like weatherization, additional appliances, and here's specific town in the buildings, but it's not like we haven't. That's a huge part of it. And some of these are really relatively small.
Yeah.
Things that I don't think we have to put in here to publish a Friday FAQ on Front Porch Forum, but that could be part of a larger just community education engagement.
It could be a specific tool associated with the education engagement.
Yeah, what are our next steps for getting the news out about this? Some of these are more substantive.
I just that wall incursion almost up to resilience and adaptation. But those are the two. What's I've never thought about it, drought hazard management.
So that was something that the students had suggested, and the more I've looked into it, the more I think it's a real logical thing that the town needs in order to keep track of, whether the population, private wells are drying up or not, and also to allow, sort of preventive things when we are entering a drought. What should people be doing? That sort of thing.
Well, I think it's important. I know that it happened actually at Piney Grove, which was a disaster subdivision. But when that happened, when it was all redone and houses are built, now neighbors don't have the water they had. And the same over on Mountain Road, I understand, for some places. So that's a consideration. Also, the zoning, water protection district, I mean, those are things that need to be in the Underhill Unified UU, which I look at all. But those are really good thoughts for hazard, reassess, and protect.
Is it obvious where those recommendations might fit in the current draft?
Well, see how this is under resilient and adaptation.
Yeah.
This other one, the water protection district, that was another thing that the students had done some research on and showed where those prime areas are where they're flat enough so that during storms there will be good infiltration. Plus, it's not impervious. So I think if it's in there, then it can be considered. Otherwise, it won't be considered.
Yeah, I think we'll put it in there somewhere, unless someone objects to those. I think.
What do you think, Nick?
I'm trying to figure out exactly where we are.
Oh,
We're at the action, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
at the bottom, almost the bottom.
under the resilience and adaptation, and then Karen had that first one under the prepare for migration.
Yeah. The other ones we sort of have a village center idea of starting, you know.
The village plan.
Well, it's not a plan, but we have the historical village centers, which is where we want to have growth.
Right, so you need a little planning, right?
I think you do.
And you need a wastewater system.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's going to send people over the edge.
Oh, well.
Just watch what's happening in Westford.
And you need to reduce a lot size.
I think if we have.
Not now. In Underhill class, the zoning is 1 acre.
And that hasn't been reduced for historical center?
No.
Which is
So,
large lot zoning.
yeah, most of the homes are out of compliance because they were grandfathered in. But anything new that comes in, I mean, there's just no room to develop in that area.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, Jericho did a nice job with their planning effort there for the flats. And maybe we need to undertake something like that. How do we want to see our two village areas perform the functions that we're going to ask them to perform, and really explicitly tackle that? I think that some of the zoning pieces that Jericho came up with were not helpful, but the conceptual stuff that they were doing is extremely valuable. And get everybody in town on board with doing that. And there are ways to implement transferable development rights and/or compulsory cluster. Exactly what Michelle was talking about. But it can all be done. I've been part of that when I was back in Mass doing community zoning. Community planning. I did a lot of zoning work, and cluster was one of the strong things that we did. Unfortunately, I've never really succeeded in getting anyone to take on TDR. But
let me just ask two things on the building high impact actions. If you could look at the last two there.
Building high impact.
Assist the select board and town officers to develop procurement decisions that consider emission reductions. That's a biggie. Is it something that we want to recommend?
Oh, under the additional thing.
Yes.
Okay, I was going back to the original, the building one.
It's the next to the last one there and the last one. Those are the two that I wondered about.
Buildings, here we go.
Awesome field use. I think we've done it at our town-owned buildings, haven't we?
Oh, we will with some of the new ARPA stuff, right, Michael?
I mean, certainly the last one, because it's throughout the whole report, our recommendations to why would the town buildings be excluded from, from those. I don't really know what, could you give me an example of what procurement decisions mean?
Okay, you're putting in a new sidewalk and you want to use this building material or this building material, which would be the
I see.
less. I mean, it's a big deal to try to do that, though. It takes a lot of time and research. Yeah.
I mean, how much of an impact, I don't just have any sense, how much of an impact could that have? I don't know how much new stuff we build in Underhill or from the town's perspective.
Well, with the consideration, I was thinking with more the highway department for purchasing, let's say, an electric rather than
Or a biodiesel.
something rather, that's going to be more expensive, probably, for
Yeah.
a lot of them. And would they go for that? You know, that's, because
We did recommend that, though, I think, in
We did.
our transportation stuff.
yeah, but did we,
Town vehicles?
We don't have a target for the big vehicles. Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
I guess I'm a little torn. I left it in there because it was in there at the time, but, when I was doing my list, but I'd like to think about that one.
I mean, it's not that hard to figure out the difference in emission reductions from a, gasoline powered truck versus someone, but these other things that you're talking about may be harder.
yeah.
So-
If we get some of what we already are asking for done, it would be great. Maybe this is a little far out.
And the other way to look at it is the way it's structured. Reduce fossil fuel use in town-owned buildings, weatherization, energy efficient appliances, energy switching. As a general concept, maybe in the individual piece would be more awkward, but as a general piece, I think it makes sense. We want our buildings to be weatherized, and we want, to use efficient vehicles and that sort of thing. I don't see it. I don't see the downside having it the way it's structured.
Okay.
So just for, I mean, I'm taking extremely short minutes, but for the purpose of the minute, did we agree to include the actions listed under resilience and adaptation? To add those to the plan?
I assume so.
Yeah, good. That's
Okay. And what about the climate and migration ones? I think the ones Karen suggested, the incursions.
Yep.
I'm really for that. Sounds like we need some sort of planning in order for smart growth in both the villages.
Mm-hmm.
We need infrastructure where we can't build. I really think we should include reduced lot size requirements. Otherwise, you can't build in the villages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Increased density is what we're looking for, whether that's specifically with lots or not. I think leaving the lot recommendation in there is very helpful because that's the way most density is controlled.
These are a lot of these are in our current plan.
Are they?
Yeah, these are.
Prepare for climate migration via smart growth principles. These are all in here.
I believe they are, yeah.
Really?
Not to set the limit incursion. I love it.
It says that in the plan.
It
The
does.
check to limit incursion to forest, wetlands, and
We already did that.
You already did that?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Aren't we good?
Yeah, they're all in there.
so thorough.
Yeah, it looks like you included all of those from before. These are not just the extras.
Okay. All right,
This
that's
includes what
good.
we had before. So when I did my implementation chart, I just took that because I went through and I was looking at it and I saw that they appeared to all be in there.
Sorry for wasting your time. That's good. I'm glad.
This is good.
This is good.
We agreed that what we thought the first time was right.
Okay. We can address at a later time Michael's implementation chart because now we have it. Is it okay with everyone if I send our document to Anne at this point to have her work on finalizing?
Yes.
Okay.
I would be fine with it, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully though, she won't like edit out things that are important to us because it is our plan.
Yeah, I don't think she will. I think she may edit word usage, but
Just
she recognizes that it's our plan. So what would our next steps be?
have a bottle of champagne.
Yay!
steps. Oh, for rolling it out, the roll?
Yes. How will we roll this out?
Okay.
I think that whoever we present this to needs more background than just here's our recommendation.
Right.
You know, it kind of needs a
Whole presentation.
presentation that gets a little more in depth about the issues so that it's, I mean, we try to do that in the plan, but the plan is much more brief than what I think is needed.
Should we try it out, do a dry run with a smaller population before it goes to, I'm just thinking,
Who would that be? Just one population?
I was, how is the planning commission now? Is it, open to ideas, or are they gonna pick it apart immediately?
It's hard to say. There will be one person that will pick it apart.
I know that. Well, do we have any people that we could just,
I'll ask.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, who would that be? I mean, I don't know if it would be, I was thinking.
Should we start developing some kind of PowerPoint or something?
Yeah.
Anybody want to tackle that initially?
Well, the PowerPoint, there we want to go to, why are we, we want to do the, what are we doing, why do we want to do it, kind of set the stage
Right.
initially before we get into the meat.
Right.
Or I don't want to say meat, the body of it. Because we're missing our meat.
It's a metaphor.
But we know that 1 pound of meat is 10 pounds of water. Is that the way it goes?
I never remember.
1 pound of beef, they've used up 10 pounds of water.
I know one almond is 10 gallons of water.
There's 10 gallons of water.
10 gallons for an almond.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So we'll do a presentation PowerPoint.
Okay.
And then if we did that, then we could try it on to folks first or not? Is that not public? Does that mean we're not?
I mean, other members of other commit, I mean, my husband Mark would probably be a great person to run it by.
Yeah.
It serves on the DRB. There's other people on your
Energy committee.
DRB or energy or
Energy.
They have, yeah, I don't know exactly.
I know that we've been available for them to look at comments on.
You could try conservation. I mean, there's some people that are focused on the big picture like this.
Mm-hmm.
That might be, some
some members of current who are serving the town who are interested. Are we talking about reviewing the report or reviewing a PowerPoint that's like a communication overview?
Probably, I don't know. The plan is, unless you're.
We don't want people starting to say, oh, we should add this and we should do this. Like, that's not what we're asking for. So,
What are we asking?
yeah, what are we asking for? Like, is it understandable? Is the one thing, not more so than.
Do we have enough background in it so people understand? Yeah, I mean, the why. Why?
Well, yeah. I have a lot of the why stuff.
I mean, I thought I don't remember all the details. How we get it's really a lovely introduction about why this is important.
Yeah.
Are we talking about once this is finalized and I don't even know the steps for like, so it goes to the other parts of the town or government. But then when does the public see it? And then are we talking about a communication plan to the public? Is that what we're talking about? What's the PowerPoint for? Is the PowerPoint for the town government?
Yes. Yeah. Well, clearly the public can attend because they can attend anything. The process, as I understand it, we answer to the planning commission. So they are the first step in the process of getting this approved by the select board, and beyond that, I don't know if the town has to approve it. I imagine they would. But that process is not clear to me right now.
Okay, so the power plan, I'm sorry, is for the planning commission
It's
to
for
do
the
a
planning.
presentation.
Yeah.
You know, how does that, if there's one, let's say one person that's just gonna pick it apart, does that one person is, I hope people aren't, political, but is that one person like a Marjorie Taylor Greene? Suddenly, or that suddenly the plan is dashed because one person disagrees with it?
No, because someone can make a motion to accept the plan as presented, and there can be a vote.
At the planning commission?
Yeah. The trick really is if they decide that it needs revising, like we don't go along with this section. Maybe what we need to do is kind of section by section.
Rather than accept it total or check.
I don't know. I don't even understand, like, this is the plan, well, yeah, forget it. The plan's making recommendations. Is the plan, like, once it's accepted, like, binding? It says, this is what our town is committed to doing, like, reaching these targets? Is
Because the
that
town voted
it's
on it.
fine, okay, all right. Okay.
Well, but we already have voted on a lot of those with the town plans. A lot of the stuff in here, the targets and everything come from the town plan.
Right.
They do. The town plan does not say how to reach them.
It does not say, this is kind of more like a toolkit.
It is.
It is
Our recommendations for strategies, are those strategies, like, if you accept our plan, that means you have to do all these things? Or are they saying these are, because a lot of these things might cost more money than we have currently, or, so I see them as, this is what we want to accomplish. Here's, we've put a lot of thought into, this is how, these are strategies we recommend the town take, and the town says, yes, these are good strategies, we're gonna work on them, but we're not committing that we have to do every single one of them. I don't know.
Or they could even commit to how they're gonna prioritize them.
Yeah, so I
Or
don't know.
whatever, right?
unfortunately, how we like most plans and be filed. However, it is a tool that's available to the town to use. If we do some stuff, especially the implementation stuff, and I'll also put up the whole, I did include one of these tables that I did for a project that I did many years ago now, but it's kind of helpful. I'll send you a link to that, and maybe even the whole implementation section that I wrote to go with it that discusses the programs and the tools that are available within those and funding sources that are available and actions and stuff like that. But you'll also take a look at the email that I sent around late this afternoon. Unfortunately, I've been working with much less margin than I would prefer, and so I just sent around an email to folks to give you a link to that table, which is my first, not even a first cut at actually. I mean, it's like on there, it's not illegitimate by no means complete. It's just a few lines that show how something like this might work. With the additional thing, I have an additional piece that we have included in the plan with respect to equity. And I'm wondering if we need to add an equity column there, and what would be in the equity column, like how equity is getting handled by each of these things, because we say it makes a specific representations with respect to the need for equity, and also with respect to the things that need to be considered in the equity rubric. So we may need to add such a column to that. What wasn't in earlier pieces that I have done. So anyway, just some thoughts about that. That who's responsible for it? What the tools are available and stuff like that. And if we think that through and we do a decent job of that, it makes it available. It adds to the value of the toolkit in terms of the town actors being able to use it.
Okay. Here's a suggestion. How about we have another meeting before we go forward?
Okay.
We can look at this implementation plan. Maybe by then, Ann will have, an edited version. We can have a draft PowerPoint. I can talk to Brad about what the process should be, how we might frame it going into the planning commission and how that whole thing. So just they're going to want to know too how it all works, and then we'll be ready for next steps. It'll be May, but big deal. I guess we just go ahead.
School's still in.
Still
Summer vacation hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Beyond that, you can start thinking about what this task force wants to do in the future. Do we dissolve? We've got a plan. That's great. Go forth. You do. Or is there a function for us in implementing this?
Well, I can see some of it. It would be energy committee, clearly.
Mhm.
I can't see much of it being conservation except by educating to points of it in the plan.
Well, there's a lot of conservation stuff in here. Exactly how that gets handled, I think it could be. I think I'm talking about, preservation of forest, preservation of agricultural lands, preservation, a lot of. I think a lot more conservation in here than you might think.
Well, there is, I mean, it's for us, because we don't own the land, what we do is offer information about forest sequestration, things like that.
Although one of the things that other communities have done is pursue excessive prime pieces. Jericho's done that. The town of Lincoln Pass. They decided to protect the town, and they literally, it's a very wealthy community. I don't know if you know Lincoln.
I know Lincoln.
It's very wealthy, and they went out and they bought literally just about 60% of the town. Preserve it, keep it rural.
Well, we're a little church in a lot of ways, and the Conservation Commission, because of the recent thing with the ski ball, one of our goals is to get a conservation fund going, and exactly how we're going to do that, because that has to go through the county, and how much a percentage of it is raised with tax money. Is it a quarter of a percent of a cent on your property, or so that's one of our strategies.
Yeah, that's great. But I'm just pointing out that there's this whole side of it. There's a lot that can be done, right up to buying up half the town or more. Now, I'm not saying that that's a very likely.
Okay, well, we should try to wrap it up. It sounds like we can have another meeting at the end of May, and I'll start working on a PowerPoint, and we can have a draft PowerPoint that we can look at and get all our pieces together, so that then we can go forward and not rush things, but have a good presentation and plan.
Okay, so that would either be May 24th or May 31st? As the fourth Wednesday of the month we meet?
Yes.
So it would be May 24th.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. May I put in the time of adjournment because I have to close this and go?
Yes. Somebody has to have a motion.
I motion to
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.